Is Nigeria better today than 2 years ago? Okay, let's go to the second question. Do you think, order please, do you think the nation is on the right track with the policies of the Tinubu government? Okay. All right. My third question, and this is very important, and we need to also think carefully. Is your hope renewed? No, I've not finished the question. Hold on. I've not finished the questions. Hold on is a longer sentence. Is your hope renewed now, or do you think this government is in touch with the present realities of the average nation? For those who agree, say yes. Those who disagree, say no. If you agree that the Minister of the Interior did a fantastic job in defending a very difficult situation of the country, put your hands together for him. If you really think the Minister of the Interior did a very good job, please stand up and clap for him. So it's a unanimous decision. All right, on that note, the yes have it. First question is
tell me what are we producing and selling to other countries? Not even slippers. We eat the skin of our cows instead of turning them to beautiful bags and shoes. Eliminate that. It's a sign of poverty.
We are a poor nation. The bank code will follow. They say firewood not food. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, try shining, and tell the West. If you don't guarantee our finances and work up with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. Do it.
The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not.
Hey!
So, in order not to embarrass Tinubu's minister, who was now looking like Frenikio. God damn it. So these people, they don't buy all this, is what I tell them. I told them that they can renew their passport from their bedroom now. Is that not a reform? So in a nutshell, the majority of lawyers agree that their hope is not renewed under Tinubu and his supposed reform. But Tinubu was in Brazil telling everyone there that his policy, his reforms are working. His position in Nigeria, his clowns that he packed with him to go to Brazil, right? Like Wale Yidun, the head of his economy team, Minister of Finance, and that is Wale Yidun. Kadobi Oduduwa Emefiole was also there. They brought people from different agencies, parastatals, and all of them. And I told you that they had over 80 people with Tinubu But that was just Japanese triple. On this one, we go Brazil. The typewriter of Kaduna, Ubasani, Abina Ubanka Soni, he has been using his mouth, right, like Yoruba would say, to cut meat inside soup. Ó ti ń fẹ́ ẹnu ya ẹran sọ́bẹ̀ fún wọn ní Kaduna. According to him, Kaduna alone will benefit over $30 billion from Brazil. Investment to Kaduna alone. And others too, like what is that one called? That's Bago. The Bago from Niger. I wanted to say Niger. The one that said Tinubu is his father. Look at them. They were all there, okay, with Tinubu. And everybody is telling their own media team to keep telling their people that, this Brazil, Tinubu's reform, Tinubu's policy. So we're going to go to that Brazil now, mostly the boring part. Then we're going to go to something pretty much like, lively after that. But this one is longer. So what are they telling themselves and their own data boys that they took to Brasilia, right? It's almost the same thing they've been telling you all this while. All talk, no action. All fraud with a touch of propaganda, as you can tell. But they did take something out of it that we shouldn't possibly miss. All right. That is, now you can fly directly to Brazil. Unfortunately, I don't think, because I have been told that to even get a Brazil visa from Nigeria, I don't know, except you are a politician. So those who have their visas and all that will tell you what it is like. So hopefully now that they don't have to travel 22 hours to Brazil, right? But that's a good thing, Yeah, out of the trip. That one that one is something you can say, is that true? Yeah, it is true. So Tinubu signed a BASA agreement with Brazil, which now allow, the Brazilian airlines to fly to Nigeria directly and take passengers, as well as Nigerian airlines to fly to Brazil 3 times in a week. So here Peace has been given the deal. So it was there with them. And let's go see what they did in that Brazil, including when Tinubu met with Nigerians in Brazil. But guess what? In the room where Tinubu is meeting Nigerians, you will realize that the entire Nigerians you see in the room probably are less than 10% of the entire audience, because all those who follow Tinubu there, they are those ones who will sit down like the staff of the embassy. They will fill up the room to make it look like Nigerians from Qatar are hosting Tinubu. That's not the point, right? Let's go to that Brazil, like day 3 of Tinubu's visit there. Which one should we do first? When he met with Nigerians, his Minister of Misinformation, right, was the one that started first. I told you it's the boring part, so let's jump.
But let me say that all these things have happened because of one single factor, Excellency. Throughout the history of any organized society, the power to change the course of mankind has always been vested in the leaders. And that is what we are seeing here today. In just 2 years, everything has happened in Nigeria, from the major reforms that the president has instituted, removal of subsidy, unification of the foreign exchange, and all the other reforms. And only yesterday, Mr. President, listening to President Lula, he said something about the reformation of their tax system here. This is something that I know took a long struggle to do in Nigeria. But Mr. President was insisting because he knew the direction that he was going. He insisted, and today we have a tax regime that will help all the reform program of Mr. President in our country. Our children that are unable to go to school on account of the fact that either their parents or their guardians are unable to pay for their school fees. It's no longer the case. As we speak, over 90 billion naira has already been committed to that. students are no longer going out of school simply on account of the inability of their parents or guardians not to pay for their school fees or for their upkeep. I think this is very, very important. This from north to south, from east to west, nobody, you don't need to know anyone. Just as Governor Obasani has said, you don't need to know anyone to get anything from the central bank. You don't need to know anyone to enroll in school. Once you are able to go to school, you'll be able to go to school today. This is unprecedented. It has never happened in the history of our country. And all the reforms that is present, he talked about livestock. This is a potentially over 30 trillion naira economy. My brothers and sisters from the northern part of the country, before now, the livestock ministry was just a unit under the Ministry of Agriculture. Today, Mr. President has brought that to life. And what we are seeing here in Brazil, because the model that the president is also taking from Brazil here in livestock, in piggery, in other sectors concerning related to that, is aimed at transforming the kind of economy that we all desire to have. Mr. President, what we have done in just 2 years is unprecedented. Sometimes when we go out to roll out all these programs and policies of government, and this is happening just at the midterm of the first mandate that you have in 2 years. Just imagine what is going to happen. Only yesterday, we had the BASA, the Bilateral Air Services Agreement, linking this part of the world, Brazil and Nigeria. And Mr. President said something that if it was possible to swim from here across the Atlantic to reach there. So when I heard my sister, Abike Dabiri, talking about the regatta that is coming up around October this year, and I said, well, we are going to do that beforehand because tonight we are flying Air Peace to Nigeria in 7 hours. So we're not even waiting for that regatta to happen. So something with the cargo. Your Excellency, this is not a night for speeches. I know that if we have the time from now till morning, we'll be reeling out all the reforms that Mr. President has done. But what I want to tell you is that Nigeria has changed. It is what Nigeria of yesteryears. This is it. You have a destination. Everyone. Nigeria is now a darling of everyone. Everyone wants to come to Nigeria. And I'm happy that our brothers and sisters in Brazil are not being left behind. They are gearing up to join us. In any case, we've had 350 years of slavery. We are now changing that. Like President Lula said yesterday, it's not just for economy. It's not just for financial re-engineering. It is also a connection of history, of culture, of tradition, and of common heritage and humanity that all of us crave to have. Thank you, Your Excellency, for giving me this opportunity.
Láùdù tó ń fà máa òkúta tó wà ń bẹ̀ máa yọ kúrò ń bẹ̀ máa sàbí ìgbà tá bá ń sa ẹ̀wà.
Did you see that smooth way? When you are telling a lie, right, and you repeat the lies again and again and again and again, you begin to believe it. Because APC is the type that they will look at you. When you see some of them, you can easily tell the state of Nigeria on them, especially their followers. Like you can easily tell, like, oh my God, like what happened to you? Sort of struggling guys. And that is the reflection of the real society, their real policies on these people. But APC will come and convince you that you have lost your look, that you are already looking like somebody else. Right? I don't know if some of you have experienced that, where you get to, you're on the phone with someone, and then somebody says, hey, who is that? They say, Taiwo or something. Say, which Taiwo? Taiwo Adekunle. Really? Why did he look so different? So, Abako, easy, Nigeria, everybody just sure you get, but APC will convince you, right, that is your true, that's your true image. That time when you are looking better, that was fake life. What Tinubu is doing right now is that he's teaching everybody to live within his means. So if you are big before, people, they call you Biggie. And right now, they thought you are, I mean, like you are no longer Biggie, right? That is your real size. That is the real you. APC will convince you. You will see suffering and suffering and smiling suffer heads. They will be convincing you that Tinubu is working. Let me tell you something. It will take time. Reform take time. They will be breaking. It is because these guys that they listen to speaks to them in like speaking to them about like the future. Even if you are not enjoying now, the reason why all of them are complaining now is because you see this reform, they are supposed to have done it years ago, but because they didn't do it, Tinubu is doing it now. So in another 2, 3, 4 years, everybody will begin to see it. Promissory notes. That's APC. Meanwhile, when you are looking at what they are doing, at least to a little bit, right, correlate with what they are telling you, you will realize that it's in total contrast. They are telling you this, and you are following them. You think it's the same thing, and then the next thing, this is actually what they are doing. But you are still stuck here, deceived, expecting, like they did for you during Bukwari's time. For 8 years, grown-up adults, they were watching Bukwari and his gang depleting Nigeria at the time. And they were still telling themselves, this is the change I voted for. This is the change I voted for. Meanwhile, the change they promised them, the fake one, they don't take this route already. Empty the entire central bank of Nigeria. Dig further and dug Nigeria into everlasting indebtedness. The Olori Burukus, the Buhari idiots, who were abusing everybody, attacking everybody for 8 straight years. By the time they realized, they were already marched again behind Tinubu. So they've forgotten that they were the same people abusing and attacking everyone because of this change and next devil. So right now, to them, they are back to the same state of mind, deluded, gullible, and totally stupid. They are telling everybody right now, renewed hope, the policy, give it time. Very soon, in 2 years, everything, the country don't spoil before, here you get. So right now, it is, give them time. Meanwhile, Tinubu and his gang, they are busy again, cashing out, deceiving them, running the country aground, falsifying statistics and data, especially falsifying data to deceive them who still believe that they told them the renewed shaggy. The country is bleeding, but they are giving themselves awards of doing well. Since those who believe in the lie, they believe so strongly. But you know how bad it is? So it's that 8 years of their lives was wasted by Bukwari. Bukwari and his own people and his co-travelers, they wrecked Nigeria, and over $200 billion that could have been part of Nigeria's revenue disappeared. In 8 years, Bukwari wiped off more than 3 generations and the wealth that they could have built on. The economy that was a $567 or so billion economy, they wrecked it, brought it down to about $320 or so billion. People lost their jobs, lost their savings. Most of their stuff got so devalued, lost their businesses. At the end of the day, poverty spread. But while that is the evidence, APC, Egbekegbe, they are telling Nigerians, that if not for them, it could have been worse. There are those who believe. There are those who believe that it's true. If they didn't remove that subsidy, honestly, you don't know. Nigeria would have collapsed because they told them that. It works. When you repeat the lies again and again and again and again, you begin to believe it. And once you start believing it, everyone who doesn't